Hello, my lovely friends. Welcome back to your channel for Lockdown Positivity. Today is the last day of the year. Yay! And as promised last time, I have invited some of my very best friends. I gathered these lovely people to talk a little bit about their year and what this year, this incredibly difficult year for everyone, has taught them. And have they seen beauty? Have they found some positivity, even though the circumstances were so difficult for so many of us, really, and for the world? So I thought that by inviting them and gathering them in my channel for positivity, this might be another asset that can help you see the positivity in everything, no matter the circumstances. The pandemic has been obviously around the entire globe, and luckily so are my friends. So I invite you to travel with me through the world and see what they have to say.
Hello Marlene, thank you for inviting me to share with your lovely audience what has been the most important lesson for me during this crazy year, and that has been the ability to listen to myself. That might sound a little bit weird, but what I mean is this year was full of noise. A lot of people were all of a sudden experts on all sorts of subjects, and sometimes you need to go inside yourself to look for the answers that you need. So I did that. I needed to find ways to run my business successfully in these uncertain times, to protect myself from toxic people or negativity, and setting boundaries against that, and also to protect myself and my loved ones in these very crazy and difficult times. I would recommend everyone to go inside and listening to yourselves whenever there's a challenge or a difficult question to answer. Most of the times you will have the answer already. You just need to listen very well. Thank you and have a lovely, lovely new year. Bye.
Hey Marlene, first of all, I want to send you a big hug from Los Cabos, Mexico. Well, as we all know, this year has been very rough, but it has been also a time of opportunities. The 17th of March, to be precise, the Mexican authorities asked me to close my business because of the pandemic. First, I felt very frustrated, but then I realized that I had a great opportunity to do what I like best, to navigate my boat with my family. So instead of staying with my family at home during the quarantine, I decided to take our boat to the islands of the Sea of Cortez. We left the port the 20th of March, and instead of being 2 weeks as in the sea as planned, we stayed at the end 90 days. So we navigate from La Paz to Conception Bay, and then we crossed directly to Sonora. In the meantime, we saw blue whales, sperm whales, gray whales, dolphins, sharks, and all kinds of birds. It was one of the best experiences of my life.
Dear Marlene, 2020 has certainly been a challenging and difficult year, especially for those who lost their jobs or who lost somebody loved one. Nevertheless, for society as a whole, I believe it's been an extremely positive year, as I think that it doesn't matter so much what happens to us, but how we deal with it and what we can learn from it. We've been derailing and accelerating towards doing more, buying more, and having more. And maybe this pandemic made us stop to realize that it's not about doing more and having more, but it's about being more and being more conscious. I also evaluated what really matters to me in life. For example, it's not about having and meeting many people and many friends, but it's about having a few good friends and really staying close to our families. I was able to do more sports than I did any other year before, and even learn a new instrument. So I leave 2020 with one word: gratitude. Thank you.
Well, hello from Sydney, everyone. Marlene was so kind to ask me to speak in 1 minute about something positive in 2020. And I have to say, I really struggled at the beginning. So the one thing that came to my mind that I think could be universal and could apply to anyone is that what I learned is that when people have a common experience or a shared experience, people actually are more likely to understand each other and be more forgiving. So when we think about the world in general, usually we don't have many shared experiences and everyone has their own struggle and battle, and we often are not patient with others or don't have much empathy or compassion because we don't know what they're going through. But with the pandemic, we kind of all were in this together, at least in the seas, in the same storm in the sea with slightly different vessels, some on yachts, some on kayaks, but we were all in the same thing. And I think that really showed a high level of empathy and understanding. And it just shows that when you do take the time to understand each other, to try to understand what others are going through, we can really make the world a better place. So that's one learning from me for 2020.
I was very happy when Marlene asked me to join her positivity channel and share how I dealt with the coronavirus and the lockdown. I'm a marathon runner, and there is something that I learned from a long distance running that is my magic phrase, and it is, "This too will pass." I tell this to myself every time I'm in a difficult situation. For instance, when I'm running under the sun, under the rain, when my knee is hurting, when I'm just annoyed, I tell to myself always, in 5 hours, this will be over. This will only be a memory. Well, I don't know when this coronavirus stuff will be over, but it will, for sure it will. So in a while, it will just be a memory. Once you get this, everything gets really easier to handle. There is a second phrase I love, and I really truly believe on this, and this is, happiness is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. And this is so true, because you cannot change what you cannot change. So it's really so useless to fight against things or get upset or get angry about things that you cannot control, that you cannot change. So if we try to focus on what we still have, what we still can do instead of what was taken away from us, this gives you like a sense of control again over your life. It takes away the negativity, it takes away the anxiety. So these have been two of my main ways of dealing with this. I hope they can also help you deal better with this lockdown.
Hola Marlene, thank you for inviting me to be part of this video. I was thinking of what 2020 brought me, and it's really too many things to count. So I chose one to share, which is really to do with, it's helped my relationships enormously. First, the relationship to myself, the space and the silence, it has made me learn to listen more to my feelings and to accept them a little bit more, even the uncomfortable ones. And then the relationship to others, it has made me be less self-absorbed and think actively about other people and send a thought, send a message, and a little bit less inside myself, and really understand a bit more that we are not alone. At the risk of sounding cliche, these are my two biggest gifts that I'm taking from 2020 into 2021. Happy New Year, everybody.
Hey Marlene, it's Andy here from Swipe. You know me as ex art director of Cosmopolitan some years ago, And it's good to see you with your positivity channel. It's a brilliant thing that you're doing. What did 2020 mean to me? Well, it's been quite an introspective year for everybody, I think. For me, it was about starting projects that I've been meaning to start, that I've had on the back burner for years. I started a podcast, Video Talks podcast. I started a project which is about kind of starting from scratch called Square One. I also started a co-mentoring group called the Mentor Exchange, which is basically trying to help people to just chat together in their sort of isolation states. So that's been quite an interesting education in itself, seeing people find support from each other and growing. And the Video Talks podcast has been great for me to build my confidence in talking on this kind of thing and looking at this kind of thing, because I'm normally behind that kind of thing. And yeah, and also my video agency Swipe, I've had to kind of change things a little bit there. So I'm interested and excited to see where things go next year. I think we were all due for a change, and we just didn't expect the change to come so suddenly. Let's look forward to 2021 and embrace that innovation and pivoting mindset. So cheers, Marlene. Happy New Year and take care. Good luck with the channel. Cheers.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that, meeting some of my friends. At last but not least, I still have one very special person who couldn't unfortunately video these words because he also fell ill with COVID. But he did send me an email, and this is what he said. Dear Marlene, thank you so much for doing this channel and for inviting me to talk in it. When you asked if I would like to share my positive experiences and lessons of 2020, considering lockdown, I was totally up for it. This year has not been too bad at all. My girlfriend created a beautiful spot in our apartment with many plants, a sort of green area which doesn't only make our home look much nicer, but also helps leveling naturally the Mexican heat in the apartment. Spending more time at home has also allowed us to take better care of our little dog. Normally, we would travel to work for at least 2 hours each way. Now we get to spend that precious time together and with our dog. I have also used this time to create a new football-related project as a business. It is all pretty much set, and I'm just waiting for things to get back to normal to start establishing it. Reflecting over the past year has been good. We have used the current situation to learn a lot and do a lot, which has made us very happy. So thank you, Marlene, for inviting us to talk about all the positive things this year has also brought us. Oh, and I have also used this time to watch more football. Obviously during non-working hours. So this entire video really is totally dedicated to this beautiful person who sent me this email, who still found the strength to think about the positivity of this year, despite being in bed with COVID. So thank you to that person for being so inspirational to all of us. And it is just a lesson more about how we can see life in a more positive way. Because if you think about it, if you are positive, it actually gives you energy. And this energy you can spread with everyone around you. If you're negative, it sucks your energy. So really, it's no brainer, right? Anyway, so in that sense, I wish you a wonderful 2021. Let it be much better in many ways than this year. But let's not forget why we shouldn't dismiss this year as completely negative. And let's not forget that we are all a community, a world community, and that we have all lived through the exactly same things in different ways, of course, different realities, but all in all, it has been the same situation everywhere. So hopefully you can take some of 2020's lessons with you, and, you know, care for your next person, care for what you have, be happy with what you have, find the simplicity of things that are the most important. Okay, well, all the best for the next year, and thank you for watching. Ciao.